if you guys are in the middle of a weekend project, or if you're on a break this weekend, that's a good thing too. What we're doing today is we're laying up an interior brick wall. This is just an accent wall. It's not like structural. It's not, doesn't have to withstand weather or anything. It's just an interior accent wall. So this wall is supposed to look like a brick wall that maybe used to have plaster on it or something, and it got chiseled off and cleaned up for accent. You see that a lot. We've done that a lot for customers, in fact. So now we're laying this up from scratch in a newer house that's made to look like an older house. So we've got to have a few tips there. We've got to understand a little bit of the differences. So what we're doing here is we're scraping the joint with a trowel like this. We're not pointing like if you did an exterior joint, you might point that out with the point, or you might take a striker and you might strike that joint and really weatherproof it and make components. We're using these bricks that have, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but they've got a lot of bumps and on them. It kind of looks like an old brick that might have been in a wall like this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and lay up one of these rows. We're going to bed the joint here. Now this is not a video on how to lay brick. I had a couple of uncles that were bricklayers, and I got taught a lot of tips from them, but I am no expert bricklayer, so don't take all this as like the absolute best process for laying bricks. But I know enough to play one on YouTube. So anyway, let's just see if we can get this joint in, and I'll show you a little bit how we're doing this. Alrighty, so now we're going to start with a full brick because I had a half brick here. Now another thing that you see in these old brick walls, believe me, I've seen a bunch of them, is you see some of these end bricks going through that would have attached through to another course in their wall. Those old walls were 3 or 4 courses thick, most of the time 13 to 18 inches thick. And we've got a couple of those in our rows here. Now we're going to go with a couple of regular rows next, then we're going to do a few more in here. But right now, my bond is such that I had a half brick on my last. So we're going to start with a full brick. I'm going to have to get a little more mortar. Hang on just a second here. Sorry about that. We're back. All right, so we're going to butter each joint on the ends. After we did our bed joint here, we're still going to butter the ends. Now, what we do is, you can see this, when we butter the joint, lots of times you butter this way too, but in this case, I'm not doing that. I'm just buttering these two directions because I want to leave this as full on this end as I can. Now, when we press that in, we're going to get good squish out on all 4 sides that way, or all 3 sides, I'm sorry, of the brick. So we butter that, take the next one, do the same thing, butter both ways that way, then squish that in, do the joint here, now we're going to just keep repeating. And I'm setting them as I go. Again, this is not like a tutorial on how to lay brick. If you were doing a wall, you'd probably lay your corners first, mark your joints on the sides, and the bricks, you'd have a story pole here, and you'd mark every brick where it needs to be. You'd lay up this side, you'd have a string line between needs to be right on that string line. That's the way you normally lay brick. This is not the look we're going for here. We're going for sort of a rough look. The bricklayers that laid those walls up, the inner walls and these plaster walls, would have just gone through quickly and laid it. It wouldn't have been, it would have been plumb up and down, but that's about it. I mean, they wouldn't have cared about too much irregularity that way. A little bit of ins and outs was fine. So we're kind of trying to duplicate that whole thing here. Now we got a piece of a brick on the edge. Now you take your brick hammer here. Somewhere I got a brick hammer. And so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make a piece of holes here. So we're going to chip along there, along there, along there, and there. Let's see if we can get this to break right. Look there. Worked right for you. Now you can see it. Now we're going to lay that brick in there. Alright, so now the difference here on these joints as to what a regular joint is, like I'm telling you, you don't want to run those joints too much with your trowel because they'll have like a finish. What's that? You want the look to be like it was chipped off, like broken off flat. So now we're going to take our level. And again, I didn't mean to indicate that you don't use a level at all. We are going to use a level a little bit, but we're just not being real fussy about it. So we're going to set all these bricks. I also want a little bit in and out. I don't want it to be way out, way messed up. So. Alright, that's pretty decent there. Now again, I'm going to show you what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of scrape these off. And if you have to do, what I've been doing is I'll overfill it. So if you want to fill that, I'll overfill it and then come back and kind of scrape it, which gives me that look that I want. Again, you want that kind of irregular look, a little bit of a rough texture. So I got a little area here I got to fill. So, can you pull in a little bit to see this? So I'm going to have to put some mortar in there. Probably going to be a little hard to see this on camera, but I'm going to put extra mortar in there, and then I'm going to try to scrape it off because I don't want to smooth across there. Just going to really change the look of it. Alright, that's about all you want to do now. Now what I've been doing is I take a soft brush like this, kind of a soft brush, and I've been going over it afterwards. I won't do that one just yet, but these other courses are fine. Come over here and just kind of knock off the rough spots. Just blend it just a little bit, not a lot. See here, I've got a great weekend. Take care.